Yo, guys, what's going on? Arsenal have just played their first preseason game on their US tour over there in Baltimore versus Everton. Arsenal won the game 2-0. Bukayo Saka scored a goal, and Gabriel Jesus was absolutely sensational in that first half, setting up a goal and scoring a goal himself. Right? So let's get straight into it. What happened in this game? First of all, William Saliba started this game. Thomas Partey started this game. When the lineup came out, we knew that there was a bunch of players that haven't gotten a chance to play in this team during the preseason, getting opportunity. And let me just run through what the starting lineup was to start the game. Because when the game started, I looked at the 11 and I'm saying to myself, you know what? I'm excited because there just before the game, I'm seeing William Saliba starting, seeing Saliba getting his first opportunity with the first team. And it's like, you know what? We've been asking for Saliba to get an opportunity with the first team for so long, being on so many successive loans. It's like, you know what, when is Saliba finally going to get an opportunity? And today he did get his opportunity. Today Saliba did get his opportunity. Matt Turner started in goal. You had Cedric, you had Saliba, you had Gabriel Magalhaes, you had Tavares. So it was a different type of defensive line, but we did end up keeping a clean sheet with that defensive line. Everton were very poor, to be honest. Thomas Partey Xhaka started, so that would be more or less our more full strength side on that end. You also had it was more or less after you pass the defense and you look at Partey, Xhaka, Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli, and Jesus. That was more or less what our starting 11 would look like on a regular match day, right? Then we went on and the game started. Once the game started, ladies and gentlemen, we got into it quite quickly. The pressing from the boys. The boys pressing, they pressed on point. They were pressing as a team on unit. And when you have Saka pressing, Odegaard pressing, Gabriel Jesus pressing, and Martinelli pressing, we were causing so much problems for them, disrupting them, giving them so many issues. And I know it's preseason. You're going to say, don't get ahead of yourself. I'm not getting ahead of myself. I'm not saying we're going to do this or that next season based on a preseason game. No, what I'm saying is from the first 30 seconds, from the first early minutes, you could tell that this was going to be a decent performance. And what we did was we had taken control of the game early. We pressed the living life out of them, and we got ourselves in good situations early in the game. And you know what? There were some players that did cause some issues and concerns for me. I definitely was looking at Matt Turner, and I was saying to myself, Matt Turner did not look solid. He looked shaky at times. Matt Turner definitely looked shaky. He did not look like he was the most confident self. Personally. Then you also had situations with other players in the team that did not look confident. But you know who did look confident? Gabriel Jesus. From a corner, Gabriel Jesus got his opening goal. This is how he got his opening goal. He found himself in a situation where he was wide open on the far post after the cross came in from the corner. He made an amazing touch, grabbed it, put it in the top corner. And as you can see, the goalkeeper was nowhere to be found in this situation. And he just slotted it away. And then from there, he went on to go celebrate. And that was the opening goal of the game. I think that happened in the 33rd minute or something like that in the game. But then quickly after that, I think it was only a couple minutes after that, Bukayo Saka then scored in the 36th minute after a beautiful cross pitch pass, not cross pitch. So Gabriel Jesus turned, quickly drove past a couple, quickly drove forward, made a nice pass. Bukayo Saka found himself wide open, and he couldn't do anything but slot that away. So he did, and then he made that the second goal of the game in the 36th minute. So that was that story right there. So Bukayo Saka's goal, then you had Jesus's goal, but let's not forget how techie Jesus was. Jesus, to the lead up to that goal, if I'm not mistaken, the Saka goal, Jesus was integral to that goal. I'm just gonna rewatch that goal quickly because in my mind I remember seeing it, but I'm tripping on what took place. So Gabriel Jesus received the ball, made a quick turn, then he passed the ball past everybody. So You guys got to see this. You guys got to see this. From the position that Gabriel Jesus received the ball, this is where Gabriel Jesus received the ball for that opening goal. He received the ball here. And from this position, he found himself, from that position, he found himself turned, went all the way there. And then from here, he found a way to get the ball to Saka. Yes, he made a little chip pass from there, as you can see. And then Saka was wide open. By the time the ball got to Saka, first of all, Martinelli thought the ball was for him. He didn't touch it though. And then it ended up getting to Saka. Saka slotted it away. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful goal. Now, outside of the boot also, yes, outside of the boot. Did Jesus assist the goal? As you can see, he clearly did assist the goal. People are saying Xhaka was not good enough. Xhaka was not good enough today. Hector Bellerin was not good enough today. A lot of players were not good enough today. But somebody who was good today, somebody who put in a world. No, okay. Let's not get too carried away. It wasn't world class, but he put in a really, really good performance. It was William Saliba. I think William Saliba would be my man of the match, actually. I would give William Saliba the man of the match for today. He was so cool, calm, collective. Guys, describe William Saliba's performance in one word for me. Some people saying beast. Some people saying William Saliba was just an absolute monster. Yes, you could describe him in so many ways. You could describe William Saliba's performance today in so many ways. I think William Saliba was outstanding, to say the least. Right? There were so many positives to take away from today's game. Some of the negatives, though, in the second half, when we made our substitutions and we took off Gabriel Jesus, we took off Saka, we took off Odegaard. Them three left. All our creativity was gone. We didn't really create much chances in the second half. We didn't really have any opportunities in the second half. The game was pretty much dead and buried. And from there on, it just seemed like we were on cruise control until the end of the game. We were pretty much on cruise control until the end of the game. But there was a dirty incident from James Tarkowski. I'm not going to lie to you. This guy, this is a preseason game. This is so unnecessary from James Tarkowski. Honestly, this is disgusting behavior from James Tarkowski. This is so unnecessary, not needed. In a game that is a preseason friendly, we had an issue where Gabriel Jesus almost got injured from Godfrey earlier in the game, and Tarkowski took out Sambi Lokonga at the end of the game. It just, some of these things are not necessary, guys. Unnecessary behavior, very unnecessary behavior. But today, the three people who did have the most impact in the game were definitely Saliba being the man of the match, Saka being the second goal scorer, Gabriel Jesus, and I found that on the back end, we need to speak about Matt Turner. Matt Turner is starting to worry me. I'm looking at Matt Turner and I'm saying to myself, we might have a problem here because he doesn't seem up to scratch. He's making errors left, right, center. He's not commanding of his box. When crosses are coming in, he's not coming to collect them. He's kind of just waiting on his line to see what happens. There was an incident where he literally put himself in problems for no necessary reason. So I'm looking at him and I'm saying to myself, come on, Matt Turner, you're supposed to be our number 2 goalkeeper, and you're not breathing any confidence into these players at all, right? So that, with that being said, I want to see more from the youngsters. We didn't get to see much of we didn't get much of Marquinhos. We got a little bit of Walter near the end. I don't know why we got so much Bellerin today. Why is Bellerin still in and around the squad? Like, he needs to get gone so we can give Saliba the number 2. Saliba was definitely man of the match. The midfield needs work. That is definitely true. Today, we lacked a lot of creativity in that midfield in the second half. The moment Odegaard left, there was nothing else in that midfield. Also, with Saka and Gabriel Jesus going, the attack, the drop-off was terrible. Eddie Nketiah was not the problem. The problem was we took off Saka, Gabriel Jesus, and Odegaard. We brought on Ainsley Maitland-Niles, El Neni, and Ainsley Maitland-Niles. We brought in Eddie Nketiah, and somebody else. And it was like we didn't really offer anything. I think we went to a three at the back, maybe even because we had an extra defender in the team, or maybe he was just covering as a left back or a right back at the time. Gabriel Jesus did pick up a little knock. I hope he's okay. I don't think it's that serious because he was walking perfectly fine and everything. Torreira, Okonkwo, Balogun did not play. Interesting. That is interesting. Yeah, they didn't come. I don't think they featured. I don't think they came off the bench to actually get any game time there. There was a little bit. There was a little bit of. There's a couple of talking points that we need to talk about. So of course we know who the goal scorers were. We know that Gabriel Jesus and Bukayo Saka were the goal scorers, but it wasn't there. It wasn't like they actually stole the show. Gabriel Jesus was definitely a big part of the game though, and he was definitely a big driving force in this win. I think he was showing a lot of improvements today. And the second half, we made a lot of substitutions. So let me just show you some of the substitutions that we made in the second half. We brought on Bellerin, Eddie Nketiah, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Elneny, and Holding for Tavares, Jesus, Saka, Cedric, and Odegaard. And this is the moment where the game became more defensive and less attacking. And we also brought in Lokonga, Mari, Nelson, and Walter. Nelson didn't really do much, in my opinion. Walter looks really good. Walter really is impressing me as a player. I think Walter is going to be a really good shining light next season. Hopefully he can get some game time in the Europa League, and that would be key for his development. I didn't really see much from Lokonga. Pablo Mari looked poor. Xhaka looked decent. Gabriel Magalhaes looked good. Saliba was very commanding of his area. Martinelli, he beat a couple men in the attacking third and did decent. I'm not going to do player ratings today. I don't really think there's anything to rate. We didn't really see much of some of the players, and some of the players in the first half, the level of quality around them was just such a high level. You couldn't really compare to what they had in the second half. With the level of quality in the second half, it was just so poor. But yeah, that's it for now. Nothing else to be really said. Let me just make sure I go through all the comments. Saliba was a beast. How is Pepe getting blamed when Bellerin messed up his game? Bellerin was really poor. Pepe was getting blamed because Pepe gets blamed because Pepe is a scapegoat at this point. People just want to get onto his back. I don't think it's fair, actually. Bro, trust me, if we get Paqueta, the Brazilian link-up will be really strong. I don't think we're going to get Paqueta. Xhaka was not good enough. Xhaka was not good enough today. I fully agree. Pepe is not what we need moving forward. I agree. Pepe is not what we need moving forward. We need better. At this moment in time, Pepe is a fringe player. Vinicius, quit the spamming. Definitely, Vinicius, chill with the spamming, bro. Chill with the spamming. Daniel saying Eddie is going to cook this season. We're gonna have to see. Saliba, man of the match, 100%. His passing was awful. Who? Eddie Nketiah or Pepe? We're gonna have to wait and see. Zinchenko plus Paqueta, bro. If we get Paqueta, it's gonna be amazing. It's going to be amazing, people. I don't think there's anything else really of note to mention. Arteta is working on a new contract for Bukayo Saka, so that is something positive that we are hearing. We need to see if what happens there. We need to buy midfielders ASAP. Definitely do need to buy midfielders ASAP. Yuri Tillman's coming through the door will be a massive upgrade on what we currently have. Igal, where do you see Zinchenko playing in your team? I think he's going to play as left back, and he can also play in a midfield position in the number 8 role, depending on the availability and what's going on around him. But yeah, that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing else to be really speaking about in regards to that. Let me just make sure there's nothing of note. Some news that might have dropped that we haven't mentioned. Saka's contract, nothing new. Saka's contract. Tomiyasu, when is Tomiyasu going to be back? We need to find out when Tomiyasu is going to be back. Saka scored today, so Saka was doing his thing. Nothing else really of note. So yeah, I'm going to end it. I'm going to love you guys and leave you guys here. Big up to everyone. Saliba has to have a new contract also. Oh, did you guys see the Saliba thing? Mikel Arteta speaking about Saliba before the match. Quotes coming out about Saliba and his potential situation at Arsenal. And this is Arteta basically putting the foot down, saying he needs to fight for his place. I think if Saliba gets an opportunity, not only will he take that starting job, he will be a starter before the World Cup. He'll be a week in, week out starter before the World Cup. Arteta saying, I think he looked very confident all times. He's been abroad, building confidence for himself. Really important. Don't forget the age is still how many players his age play at a big club in the EPL. Personally, I think Mikel Arteta is just basically telling him, fight for your place, and you're gonna get an opportunity. Also, Fabrizio Romano saying that Nuno Tavares' loan deal talks have broken down. So there's no agreement, and the talks between Olympico Marseille and Arsenal over Nuno Tavares are not progressing. So that is another issue that we have. But yeah, you guys have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful day, guys. There's nothing else to be said here. Have yourselves a wonderful day. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. And yeah, big up to Arsenal. Hopefully we win our next preseason game also. And we'll be back tomorrow at 7 with all the latest transfer news.